And while we impatiently wait for that transportation funding package in Salem, let's get to some of your thoughts on our story last night, looking at alternative proposals that came from both a faction of Democrats and the GOP. The only framework we've seen of the initial plan included these fee hikes: a 20-cent per gallon jump in the gas tax over the span of 6 years, a $66 increase in registration fees, a $90 increase in vehicle title fees, and a new system use fee, which would be a 1% fee the state would collect when you buy a vehicle based on how much it costs. And plans to phase in a pay-per-mile plan, starting with electric vehicles as early as next year. EVs, of course, not paying the gas tax that gas vehicles do. Some Democrats want to take that further, raising the gas tax by 40 cents, using the money to prevent service cuts at transit agencies and putting more money toward safe school routes and EV grants and rebates. Republicans, meantime, proposed their own framework, mostly cutting funding elsewhere rather than raising taxes, like moving $146 million from climate initiatives to the state highway fund, taking $38 million from passenger rail service and using the public transit payroll tax to help truckers with the tax break, and later using the money for that highway fund. Several of you who responded to us side with Republicans on taking money from transit.
I think that the Republicans hit the nail on the head. The Democrats are just out in left field. I see bus after bus after bus in Portland with no riders on it. Why are the taxpayers paying for these buses to be running down the streets when no one's riding them? Why are we buying new ones and putting them on the road, and electric buses and putting them on the road when nobody's riding the TriMet? It needs to stop being taxpayer funded. They can't make it on their own, and they should fold it up.
Terry says a new plan should, quote, include increasing transit fares instead of adding more subsidies, and adding a surcharge to help pay for the damage buses do to the streets and the roads. This also must include bicyclists paying their own way, possibly by requiring registration and license fees for bicycles so that bicycle infrastructure is directly funded by the users. The prejudice demonstrated by some legislators against the family car is simply anti-American.
The people that use the public transportation should pay for it. The rest of us shouldn't pay for it. I don't get any use out of it. It doesn't do a damn thing for me.
Ron wrote to us, why are there so many vehicles on the road with no license plates or expired ones? It sounds like the Democrats want the law-abiding citizens to pay for ODOT's shortcomings instead of enforcing current laws. And on that for a moment, because we do often hear that claim about no plates and expired registration, ODOT is not in charge of enforcing whether or not someone is up to date. That is up to the local jurisdictions. And Fred wrote to us, why do lawmakers continue to use language that's designed to manipulate and deceive taxpayers? A system use fee calculated as 1% of the sales price of a vehicle. Everyone knows that is a sales tax. Please just call it that. All the fees we pay are just taxes. Who do the politicians think they are fooling? We actually asked one of the co-chairs of the Joint Transportation Committee about that system use fee and its naming back in April, and why they don't just refer to it as a sales tax.
And there are 45 other states that may call it sales tax. But what it is a user fee. And what we're saying is that there's going to be a one-time systems charge or fee that they will pay when they buy a vehicle. And that 1% charge or fee is going to allow them to have actually something of a system that doesn't have potholes or problems. And so they won't be harming that new vehicle or that vehicle that is new to them as a purchased way of getting around their communities. And quite frankly, out of the 45 states that use this type of user fee, it is one that is in the top 3 revenues of how they fund their transportation system. So we're not new, we're not on the cutting edge. This is something that 45 other states actually already do.
The full transportation package proposal from Salem is expected any day now, and we'll bring you the details as soon as we get them.